Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video. So in today's video, we're going to be going through the May-June 2018 past paper 1 for CSEC Biology. So if you're interested, go ahead and like, comment, share, and subscribe. Also, be reminded that the paper 1 is the one with the 60 multiple choice questions. So first, in approaching this, you have to read the instructions, and just a note, this paper was from 2018, but still, questions do repeat, so you have to do different questions from different years, and then when you go in the exam, you realize that most of it actually like repeat. So basically, you cannot watch from one year, you have to watch from multiple years, and also do some studying in case you go in the exam and see a question that does not have a past paper question or whatever, but maybe you never see the question before. Anyway, so it literally says this test has 60 items, you have 1 hour and 50 minutes. It's important that you actually read the instructions. And then recently they started doing the paper ones online, like computer based. So the shading thing, depending on how they administer the exam this year, they might not do the shading business, and you'll be doing your paper one on an actual computer. So that's probably the difference between like a paper like this from 2018 versus now. Just a sample item, which of the following diseases due to a dietary deficiency? And then you have D right here, and they're saying that you have to shade it. So that's just the front page with instructions. But anyways, we're going to be going through the 6 questions and selecting the best possible answers. Alright, so first and foremost, biology is study of living organisms and their interaction with the environment. So now we're going to look at question number 1. So question 1 says, which of the following features is used to classify a group of organisms as class Insecta, right? And the correct answer to this question is D, number of segments. The other options were A, size, B, shape, C, color, but the correct answer is D, number of segments. Number 2, which of the following sampling methods is most suitable for estimating the density of mushrooms in a garden? And the answer is A, quadrat. Because I think at the CSEC biology level, the only, like, I wouldn't say the only, but one of the main instruments that students are exposed to is the quadrat. Um, when I went to university, that's when I learned about line and the belt and the mark release recapture those methods in like university biology. But the most common one is the quadrat to be able to estimate the density of mushrooms in a garden, and it is what would work the best out of these options in order to estimate the density. So number 3, which of the oh wait, number 3, living organisms such as plants are affected by abiotic factors which determine where they become established. Which of the following options lists some of these determining factors? You have A, sediment size, shape, and color. You have B, sunlight availability, soil pH, minerals. And then you have C, parasitism, commensalism, mutualism, and then you have D, deforestation, slash and burn, and shifting cultivation. So if you remember what abiotic factor is, those are the non-living components that basically inter I wouldn't say interfere, but it's the abiotic factors that affect living organisms. So those are like the non-living things, which those would be like sunlight, pH, temperature, minerals, those kinds of stuff. Those would be what we call abiotic factors. So since that is what abiotic factor means, we would have to choose B, sunlight availability, soil pH, minerals. Alright, next question. Items 4 to 5 refer to the following food web. How many food chains are there in the food web shown below? Alright, so it has A 2, B 3, C 4, and then D 5. Alright, so we know we have our autotroph or the producer that makes their own food. So we're saying that the iguana feeds on it, so it's the iguana feeds on the plant, and then the ocelot feeds on the iguana. That's one. Then on this side we have the squirrel eat the plants, and then the ocelot eat the squirrel. Then on the other hand, we also can get the squirrel eat the plants, and then the hog can eat the squirrel. So that's three different food chains in this one food web. Number 5, which of the following statements describe the relationship where the ocelot eats an iguana and the iguana eats plants? So the answer would be C, the ocelot is the predator while the iguana is the prey. Alright, so now we're looking at item number 6, and it refers to the following food web. So trophic level 1 is represented by A, phytoplankton, B, zooplankton, C, marine mammals, D, small fish and crustaceans. And so it says trophic level 1 is represented by, and that would be the phytoplankton. So now, number 7. Approximately 10% of the energy stored in food is available to the next organism in a food chain because A. Most of the energy is lost as heat during the process of respiration. B. Most of the energy is lost during the process of excretion. C. There are fewer consumers than producers in a food chain. D. Many consumers compete for the same resources. So the answer that I want to pick is A. Most of the energy is lost as heat during the process of respiration. Alright, number 8. Which of the following materials is considered to be non-biodegradable? So we have A, grass cutting, B, sardine can, C, newspaper, and D, cloth. And we will select B, sardine can. Number 9. Which of the following statements best explains why the coral reefs in the Caribbean are at risk? A. There has been overfishing of the seas. B. The Caribbean is a popular tourist destination. C. There have been many hurricanes in the Caribbean. And then D. There has been an increase in the volume of sewage flowing into the coral reefs. So basically, sewage is rich in organic matter, and that can cause an overgrow of algae. It just overall increases the organic content in the water, and it's just bad overall because of the contents of untreated sewage specifically on the aquatic environment. It can become poisonous to them, toxic, kill them off, and then yeah. So now 10. Replanting trees on a bare hillside is an example of A. Restoration and preservation. B. Preservation and conservation. C. Reforestation and restoration. And D. Conservation and afforestation. Alright, so the answer we're going to be choosing is C. Reforestation and restoration. Alright, item number 11 refers to the following graph of population growth. Alright, so phase 4, which is right here, um, phase 4 of the graph of population growth is most likely due to A. Disease resistance, B. A high natural birth rate, C. Adequate food and space, or D. Competition from invasive species. So the answer we're going to be picking is D. Competition from invasive species, and that's why the population kind of drops right here. All the other um options here would promote population growth, and this is the only one that goes against population growth because invasive species can come and they can take over. Number 12. When compared to a cheek cell, a muscle cell contains more A. Vacuoles, B. Ribosomes, C. Mitochondria, D. Chromosomes. And the answer is C. Mitochondria. Item 13 refers to the following diagrams which show a process where substances are moved into and out of cells. Just at first glance, we know that osmosis is happening right here. water moving from high concentration to area of low concentration across a semi-permeable membrane until it is evenly distributed. So number 13 says this: which of the following options correctly identifies and describes the process occurring above? We have A, diffusion, water moving from concentrated to dilute solution. B, diffusion, sugar moving from dilute to concentrated solution. C, osmosis, water moving from dilute to concentrated solution. And then D, osmosis, sugar moving from concentrated to dilute solution. So essentially, the answer is going to be C. We know it's osmosis, and it's not the sugar that's moving, it's actually the water. That is why C is the answer. Number 14, which of the following functions is not correctly matched to the organelle? We have A, osmotic control, to the membrane, protein synthesis to the chloroplast, and then you have um, hereditary materials to nucleus, and then release of energy to mitochondria. So the one that's incorrectly matched here would actually be protein synthesis, because protein synthesis happens in the ribosome. So that would be the answer to this question. Or rubber. No. All right, what the answer would be the ribosome. Ribosome is responsible for protein synthesis. So the answer would be the ribosome for that. So the answer here is actually B, not C, because the hereditary materials are in fact stored in the nucleus. Alright, number 15. A mature plant cell is different from a mature animal cell because a plant cell has a let's read it one more time. A mature plant cell is different from a mature animal cell because a cell has A, mitochondria, B, a cell membrane, C, a large permanent vacuole, or D, nucleus suspended in the cytoplasm. So the answer would be it has a large permanent vacuole. So this is the answer right here. A large permanent vacuole. That would be the answer to number 15. Alright, now number 16. Which of the following graphs show the effect of temperature on an enzyme controlled reaction? And so based on how these graphs look, the answer is going to be D. So this answer is correct, D, because once enzymes get to a particular temperature, they will start to denature and their activity will basically drop. It will drop and it will go down. Alright, number 17. An enzyme is best defined as a catalyst which A increases the rate of a chemical reaction, B increases the rate of a chemical reaction, C increases the rate of a chemical reaction but remains unchanged at the end of the reaction. And then D decreases the rate of a chemical reaction but remains unchanged at the end of the reaction. This is completely wrong. So this is completely. So it increases the rate of a chemical reaction but remains unchanged at the end. So the answer would be C. Alright, number 18. Which of the following features does not enhance a leaf's ability to absorb solar energy? So we have A, numerous chloroplasts in the calyceid cells. B, presence of a vascular bundle. C, transferred cuticles and enlarged surface area. Alright, so A helps, C helps, and also D helps. So the answer, it says does not. And so the answer would have to be the presence of a vascular bundle. Right, item 19 refers to the following diagram, which represents a metabolic process occurring in plants. And the food nutrient produced is, so we're saying water, sunlight. Yeah, so the answer is going to be glucose, because if you even know the photosynthesis formula, your end result is going to be oxygen. It's going to be O2 and C6, H12, O6, 12, oh, 12, O6. So that would be the answer for number 19.